Friday. Just me. Just me. She's not feeling up to doing this, so she's sitting this one out. Hey, Deb, Laura, Karen, Anna, how's everyone doing? Happy Friday, Carrie. How's everyone doing? So, popping on alone. Ship needs to keep on going. Captain needs to keep the ship going. John, don't take nights off. You guys know that. So, hope you guys had a good 4th. Hotter than hell in Jersey today. Very, very, very hot. We have a lot going on, a lot coming up, even next week. We got some stuff coming up, so I'll go over that in a little while. I wanted to start with, too damn hot is right, man. We were driving today. We went to Bristol, PA, because we like to walk around there and go to antique shops and everything. And my car on the way there said it was 98. So we get out, man, and we were like avoiding the sun at all costs. We were just staying in the shade. We did find a good place to eat. But there was also this thing there, and again, I corresponded back and forth with Donna about it. They have what they have listed as a embalming table from Gettysburg, from the Civil War, Gettysburg-ish, and it looks pretty cool. It's like a fold-out table, and I mean, they have pictures of it open, and it looks authentic. And I texted to Donna, and I'm like, "Hey, Donna, what do you think about this? From the Creeper Gallery?" And she's like, "It looked like it could be a surgery table, but not embalming," because she sent me pictures of what the embalming tables looked like, and of course they had all holes on the bottom. Hey, Marianne. Hey, David. So that the fluids could come out of them. So, but it was really, really cool. But she wasn't interested, and I wasn't gonna take it upon myself to spend whatever it was, $250 to buy this thing. Although I was curious. Hey, Kathy, how are you? I was curious to buy it and to investigate it, but not for $250 and I'll lug it home. Hey, Mary Jane. And again, my fear with that is that, I don't have my own museum to put things in. So if I did bring it home, hey, Lori, and I did bring it in the house, like what would happen if stuff started happening? Chris would kill me and I'd wind up sleeping in the car with the thing, or, having it at a hotel with me. Hey, Celine, how are you? So anyway, I was tempted. I was so tempted to buy the thing. And this is the second time I've seen it. So having gone over there again, I was really like, oh, I'm going to buy this thing. I'm buying it. It's here. I didn't think it was going to be there again. So if I go for a third time, I think I'm going to buy it. I don't know. It's just too tempting. Way too tempting. Hello, Brenda. How are you? But the pictures of it really, I have pictures on my phone. I'll post it after we're done here. It looks legit. It is definitely some kind of either a surgical table, because again, they had the tent set up and the makeshift med units. So I'm sure they would just pop these things open, have like a cushion on top of it and do whatever they had to do. They were mobile. So this looks legit and it's really old and they have some paperwork with it. I was tempted. I was really, really tempted. And then I was looking through this this old photo album. It was an entire wedding from like I don't even know, black and white, looks really old. The whole wedding party, the bride, the groom, the wedding, the family photos, and again, I'm thinking to myself, God, it's like that. Somebody had that for a long time. Obviously, someone got married, and maybe that marriage lasts, maybe it didn't, whatever. But that was so important to somebody at the time when it was made and the people who held it and held on to it, for the family members. Somewhere along the line, and I bring this up because it applies to the Creeper Gallery and to our own personal things that mean a lot to us. Somewhere along the line, there is nobody who that thing matters to anymore within the family or the friends. You know what I mean? And it's logical in a sense because it's going to happen to all of us. You know what I mean? But it's also really sad that something could belong to you and mean so much to you, and then like give it to your kids and maybe a cousin or whatever, a niece, a nephew, and then somewhere down the line, it's just garbage. It's junk. That thing that you spent money on, put so much effort into and care, and it was a keepsake, and you loved it. You kept it with you. Is now garbage. You know what I mean? Ah, so sad when you think of the big picture. Again, in a weird kind of way, it reminds me of Toy Story 3 when all those toys are going into the compactor. And at one time they meant so much to the kids, and the kids played with them, and they cared about them. And it's like, damn, I look around me and I think of the things and the photos that I have that really mean a lot to me. Like, I'll have them till the day I die, for sure. And odds are my daughter will take them or my son will take them, and they'll be around with somebody for 30 years beyond my death, 50 years gone, well, whatever. And then after that, nothing, you know? It's weird. Weird. Because you think in terms of, I think I heard a quote one time that it was something to the effect of, and I know I'm going to butcher it, but like our memories are the ghosts of, like past events in our lives, or like they're the video of the ghosts of like past things. Like people talk about how spirits exist in a place and maybe they're there in their time. You know what I mean? And they're still living their lives in a time where they were alive, and they're existing with living people who may enter that space. Our memories are kind of a little bit of that. They're not hauntings, but they're in our subconscious. They're there. They still exist. Those vivid memories of that event, that one thing, your first car, your first relationship, your first child, your second, whatever. You know what I mean? All those things, the good and the bad, they're all in there, living on inside your brain. So again, in theory, who's to say that when we're gone, that those things don't exist somewhere attached to something somehow? You know what I mean? It's such a weird thing. And these are the things I think when I'm in antique stores and I'm looking at these things, and I almost feel bad. It's like I look at these things, and like I said, with the Creeper Gallery and what Donna does, I think with those items and the energy connected to them, at least there's a chance that those items are now going to belong to someone else who may keep them till whatever, till they pass, I guess, which in most cases hopefully is 50 years or more. But everything else, garage sales, it's like, we're on the curb, sad when you think about it. But I'm getting off on my tangent. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Wes. How are you? Christopher, how you doing? So I was literally just watching the Creeper Gallery again. And again, for those of you guys who are watching here on YouTube and Facebook, I apologize because my laptop camera is not the best. I don't have the best, laptop. I will eventually upgrade. I want to get a MacBook eventually. But I'm rewatching the video first I downloaded it off of New Jersey Paranormal. I put it in a video editor, and I'm watching that, and I'm just like, God, I apologize to you guys because the clarity wasn't there. It was okay. You kind of knew what was going on just because but the clarity wasn't there at all, So I'm trying to edit it, and I'm finding parts of it, especially the second object, that I really like, and I'm clipping them and I'm making reels out of them. And I'm like, I really don't like this quality. It was bugging me. Excuse me. So then I go on TikTok, and you can download the live from there, and that quality is perfect, perfect quality. 1080. So I'll be editing from that. But again, I apologize to you guys. It was a spur of the moment thing. Chris wasn't up to coming. She's taking some new medication, so it's affecting her, where she doesn't have a lot of energy and a lot of desire to do, you know, stuff because she's tired. And so I had to scramble. I used my tablet for one thing, I used my camera for another, I used my phone. So I'm like, what am I going to use to broadcast all of this stuff? So the laptop was my idea, and didn't look great, but again, I apologize for that. So I know I could probably get most of it from TikTok and repost it, but anyway. So when I went in there, I had the mindset of doing one object that Jay, and I know Jay probably isn't watching. Jay is the guy who helps Donna at the Creeper Gallery, good friend of ours. I'll butcher his last name, Jelnick, if I say it. Jay's a good guy. And Jay mentioned doing this object that I think belonged to a woman who was Jewish, and it had some relevance as far as what the object was and the religion. I had that in mind. I read about it, and I had that set up. But when I'm by myself, I kind of put things down, and I put them in order. And you know me. I mean, the darker stuff is always going to be first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then whatever is going to come later. So I had the first object. I don't even remember what I did first. What did I do first? The dolls? Oh, the dolls. I had the dolls first because they said they had a woman's name Marjorie, and there were supposed to be two people attached to it, and they could hear the voices. So that kind of attracted me to it, and I said, let me try that one first. But right after that, I had to do the suicide, the Mason book. I had to, and knowing that depending on how things go, if there's nothing going on, I'll give it a good 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and move on. But if stuff is happening, you just get lost in the time, and then before you know it, it's 10 o'clock. And to be honest with you, I didn't get out of there till 10:45, and my car was far from the Creeper Gallery. I had 4 cases and a satchel over me, and I had to walk carrying all this stuff all the way to my car. That was a walk. So so I wanted to I don't know, maybe Tuesday again, maybe if not the following Tuesday, see how I feel. I think we have an event this weekend, I think, coming up, maybe not tomorrow, but the weekend after that. So we'll see. But so I want to do those objects first, hoping that the women, the two entities attached to the dolls would really come through. And I was getting a little stuff here and there, the lights and stuff, but because I had to do the setup different, which again on TikTok video looked incredible with all those crosses hanging there. That's where you guys kind of missed it. Those crosses with the trip wires and the setup I had looked really good. If I had my phone for YouTube and Facebook, oh my God, it looked so cool with on TikTok. So that setup, I had everything reversed because I just wanted, I knew I had to put the laptop, I knew I had to put stands, I know how to put the SLS, and I wanted to run the SLS the opposite way because it kept mapping things in the corner where we were doing it. So I said, let me put it the other way. Yeah, I definitely need that. But even that, yeah, you're right. I mean, we do have a cart where you can put stuff in and pull it. But if you've ever been to New Hope, that sidewalk is like that thin, and there's tons of people walking, especially when we get there. So that won't work either. So anyway, so everything was reversed. I start with those two dolls. I didn't get a lot. And I'm thinking, oh, this may be another slow night. The last one Chris and I did was fairly slow. There wasn't a whole lot that happened the week before. And I'm thinking, oh boy, it could be another one of these, which it's a bummer because all the ones that we've done since she's been in the new building have been really good. And that last one was the first one we had that wasn't so great, in my opinion. Um, so I did the two dolls, and I'm like, okay, William. I think his name was William Blackmore. I see the book, and I read that his wife passed, and then a year later, his business went. Something happened with his business, and he committed suicide. Usually, that kind of energy is, God, I want to say everlasting because it's been true in a lot of the cases that we've done with objects. I think I think there were a lot of religious people back in those days in the 1800s, mid to late. I think more people than not were religious, as opposed to today, where I think I don't think nearly as many people um, are as religious or as into religion as they were then. And I think for someone like William, I could see, this is my own opinion, that the fear of being judged after a suicide would be something that maybe you wouldn't do. You know what I mean? Because you're afraid of whatever the repercussions. A lot of people believe you commit suicide, you can't get into heaven, you go to hell. I don't believe that. I really don't. I mean, again, I don't want to get into a whole religious discussion here because our views are probably different. But I think that um, if we believe there's a higher power, which I don't know if we all even agree on that, and we believe there is sense to it all, I don't think we're made. Again, I'm not going to go too far down this rabbit hole. We're flawed. We were made. We're flawed in our making. We're given what we were given. You know, depression, all these different mental and medical, psychological issues that we have as people. I think that the fact that again is even in our wheelhouse of a way to end our pain means that if you believe someone created all of this and us, someone put that in there too. You can't have it one way or the other. Someone put it in there. If you believe in all that, I necessarily don't, but I don't believe if there is a afterlife and people who are so tortured in their lives and again, if you're one of those people, I said this before, seek help, call a friend, get family, do whatever you got to do to try to help yourself because there are better days. Not every day is going to be great, but there are better days. And lean on anyone that you can or call for assistance. But I got to believe that if you did choose that way for whatever to get out of whatever you're going through pain, then why would the gift of paradise, the afterlife, be taken from you? No, doesn't make sense to me. We wouldn't be wired and made the way we were if that were true, in my opinion. And that's all I'll say about that. But so anyway, I do believe that William, either through channeling in or through just being connected to that book, I do believe there are certain spirits, entities, energies that you could find that frequency easier, whether they're there in spirit, physically, or whether you're able to tap into wherever they are, or what you know what I mean. I do believe some spirits are almost at the it's almost tangible, you know, that energy, everything they went through, their lives, the emotion. He was married. There was love there at one time. So he was successful at one time, and then he wasn't. So his wife passed a year before he lost her, and we don't know what that relationship was. Maybe she was everything to him, and maybe the business was 1A, 1B. And then, 2 years ago, his life might have been great, and then one bad year, and you know. So I do believe that energy is closer for whatever reason, and I like to test that just to. It happens a lot quicker with that, and with him, um, I just started reading that book, and I think one of the first questions I asked, and I have the clip, um, do you regret what you did? Meaning how you chose, to end your life. And he said, now I do. Now I do. One of the clearest spirit box things I've gotten. Now I do. And there were a lot of EVPs there. I think I asked him something like, was it the loss of your wife, or was it the business, or was it both? And I think he said something like it's both or something like that. Or um, and then the breathing that I kept hearing around me, which is the first time that ever happened. I was I was starting to get a little freaked out. I ain't gonna lie. That breathing was on the side of me, and from where I was sitting, the table was to my right. Right behind me were the two stairs that lead down that little hallway to the main store. That's where it was. The breathing was right behind me. And when I would hear it on the recorder, or when I would hear it, it was always next to me. And when I mapped that figure, which I love because I just got to watch that again, I can't really see it when I'm investigating. You know what I mean? I watched the hand of that figure doing this, like they were trying to turn the page or to either close the book or turn the page to where they wanted it turned to. Again, I wish if Chris was there and I was there, I would have been able to see that and respond to that better. But it looked like he was either trying to close the book or grab the book. And I mentioned this in the video. When you're doing what we do and you're using equipment and people have their opinions, that equipment is measuring all those different things, EMF, energy. You have the SLS, which is creating a map, and software is looking for anything with movements or bends or angles. And you have the bell, which reacts to EMF or touching, and you have those tripwires. And literally, as I'm watching this stick figure try to turn the page or close the book, all the lights at the exact same time go off. Now, what a weird coincidence. I see somebody, I see the lights reacting to an energy surge at the same time, and then the bell was dinging in between there. So I love being in that environment when it's going on like that and it's happening. And we made an agreement with Donna years ago. Not to curse as much, because in the beginning, when we first started investigating haunted objects there, the things that would happen were so crazy to us because it was our first time doing those things, where when it would happen, it's like, oh my effing this, oh, holy F for this. I mean, we were F bombing it left and right because we couldn't believe what the stuff that was going on with objects, you know? So we made a conscious effort years ago to no longer curse on the live streams as much. So the S word comes out of my mouth a lot when I'm excited. Holy shit is like my favorite thing when something happens, because I'm so excited. I'm in the moment, and especially when you're alone, it's like, damn, I'm alone. And it's when I was alone in the old creeper gallery and I heard those footsteps above me, that was scary. I'm usually never scared, even no matter what's happening. That scared me because if it was somebody who broke into the building, I would have to deal with that. And if they were crazy, God knows what could have happened. But even if it wasn't someone who broke in the building, there's now a spirit walking up there with heavy feet, stomping that I'm going to have to deal with, maybe coming down to me when I'm alone or waiting for me when I go up there. Pretty scary. And that night with the breathing, um, it was constant, just constant. I'm sitting there listening, asking questions, and I'm like, and I kept making a face like, is anybody hearing this but me? I mean, it was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe one day, Laura, I'll run that back, I'll download it, and we'll watch it together, the basement investigation, and I'll take you through all that stuff again. But that book, you never know. You do never. That's the whole fun in investigating. And Donna and I were texting a little bit back and forth today, and there are some objects that Donna has that um, she's not real sure of, name wise and whatever. It's just because she acquired them from people who said these things are bad or they have attachments and whatever. And I take that as my responsibility to sit there and try to connect the dots. But at the very least, let me put a first name on this person, you know, or anything that I could add about their lives, But it's not always easy because um, when it's really hard, the objects where they belong to children who were brutalized or people that were, um, that stays with you a little bit. You don't just leave it there, you know. It I love that show, Kathleen. Kathleen says, "Be like Raymond Barone's dad and say, 'Holy crap!'" I should. That would be my. Probably get sued by that though. Now that you mention it, but anyway, um, it was a good night, and I left there again. I could see what time it was. There was another object there, and I knew if I even attempted to get into another object, I wasn't walking out of there until after 11. And what was great for me that night, those people upstairs must have been away because of the 4th. They must have been somewhere watching the fireworks or wherever they went, and it was nice and quiet for me. I couldn't have asked for a better night to get those EVPs, and it was just meant to be. It really was. So again, the other stuff you want to revisit at another date because you never want to give something just one go around. If you don't get much, that was the case with the polio brace. First time we did that, we got next to nothing. Second time, because whoever it was had been in that red room for so long, and they watched us talk to everyone again and again and again. Waited till their turn came around again, and boom, okay, let's do this. I'm ready. You know, so very cool, very very cool. So yeah, it was a very good EV. I knew it as soon as I came in there. Usually I hear them right away, but I knew, I was like, they must be gone upstairs. So I was going to take full advantage of that. Lucky. So yeah, the walk there was a long walk with all those cases. The walk back was, and here's the thing, not to harp on this too much. I have health issues, obviously. I wear these for a reason. Used to be in the past that the issues I have here could be taken care of, or at least made better, but it doesn't seem to be the case lately. It's getting worse. So even, this stuff is getting much worse. So I have a hard time, wearing the glasses and other neurological issues that I'm having. I have a tumor in my head. I actually have one behind my ear and I have one behind my eye. So it affects me in different ways. My my balance, my equilibrium. I get a little nausea now and then, more so now. My vision. So I've been able to deal with this for a while. I've had it since I was 24. So, but it's been getting worse and worse and worse. And like I said, surgery is a sort of a last resort because they're in there messing around and cutting nerves. And when you're cutting nerves and you're messing around with nerves, even if it's laser, you can permanently mess up things, for good. So I put all that off, and I'm still putting it off. And I have tumors on my spine as well. So every investigation that we do, even that one at the Creeper Gallery there, I come home and I'm in pain. The pain in my back is bad, really bad. And I can't sleep. Any night after investigation, I don't sleep because I'm hurting so bad. And it takes a couple of days, before the meds and the heating pad and the spray. I have that Aleve spray that I spray all over me. But yeah, I'm hoping things get better, sooner than later. But yeah, it hasn't been easy. Hasn't been easy at all. So hopefully again, it takes a turn and things get better. But like this stuff here is just normally I can wear the sunglasses for a while or even the patch and I feel better and I do a little better. But that ride home last night or from the Creeper Gallery was a rough one. I ain't gonna lie. With it being dark and that was a rough one. So anyway, I always said to everyone, I'll keep doing this until the wheels come off and I can't do it no more. And that's the truth. I love doing it. Never been about money, never been about fame, never been about any of that. It's just because I love doing it. So I don't want to stop doing it. And I'm not going to until I have to. And it seems like every thing like this brings me one step closer to having to, So hopefully this is just another step doesn't come for a good long while. You can find the Creeper Gallery last night. Everything, if you're interested in watching any investigation from the Creeper Gallery or anything we've done video wise, if you're on the Facebook page, you hit the video option. There's 10 years worth of videos there. You can go back 5 years ago and watch old Creeper Gallery investigations. You can watch old building investigations. Everything is in the video section of New Jersey Paranormal. You go all the way back. YouTube, it doesn't go back that far, but there's a good couple of years on there as well. So that's, I just wanted to touch base on that a little bit. On Monday, Pam and Steve, owners of the Waynesboro Haunts store, if I'm saying that right, they sell paranormal equipment in Waynesboro. They also have a haunted bed and breakfast, the Hoover House, which is where we're going to be December. And those tickets are going pretty fast, Cody and Satori. But they also run an event called the Battlefield Bash, Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. And we've been supporting this since they started, which was probably 5 or 6 years ago. All of the proceeds to this event, every penny goes to either the PA Wounded Warriors or some other charity that they represent, sick children. I know they've got 3 or 4 of them. Pam and Steve are very good people. Every penny goes to those charities. We support their event. We always have. We encourage everybody to come to Gettysburg on, I think it's the 25th and the 26th of July this month. Gettysburg is awesome. Like I said, we'll be hanging out all weekend. We know a few of you already said you were coming. We're going to have them on Monday to promote their event. They're in the paranormal. They've been involved in this field for a long time as well. We'll talk about the bash. We'll talk about all it has to offer. We'll talk about the Hoover House so you guys know what to expect if you're coming in December. But Monday, they're going to be joining us here at 8 o'clock. On Wednesday, take a sip for this one. On Wednesday at 8 p.m., our old friend, Mr. Chip Coffey, as you know him from Kindred Spirits, Paranormal State, Psychic Kids. Chip will be here with Chris and I. I guarantee you, Chris will be here for that one. Uh, at 8 o'clock on Wednesday. Chip will be here. We'll be interviewing him. He won't be doing any readings. He never does. You know, he does that on his own social media. You can get a live reading from Chip. I know he does like gallery readings online. But Chip will be here just to interview, to ask questions. If you guys have any, by all means, type them in to the chat. We'll be happy to ask him any subjects you guys want to talk about, whether it's kindred spirits. I know all those shows on travel are pretty much done now. I mean, I think everybody knows that now. Ghost Hunters, Ghost Brothers, Kindred Spirits, they're all pretty much done. I think the only one left is Zach, really. I don't think any of them are coming back. So we can talk to Chip about that, about how that all came about, how they found out, what his plans are for the future. We like Chip. Chip's a good friend of ours. I just talked to Chip literally last week. Chip fills me in on all the gossip in the paranormal world that he knows. And he's just funny. Again, lovable guy, loyal guy, honest guy. And Chip's the guy, you ask him a question, you get an answer. Jason Hawes is like that. John Zaffis is like that. Those are the people you want to talk to. There's they're few and far between in this world, especially in the paranormal world. It is very sad that they're all can't. You're right, and again, people blame that on Zach for whatever reason because he's still there. I think it was a matter of it's business. Warner Brothers took over Discovery. Let's face it, all these streaming things are losing money. All of them. Movies aren't making money anymore. So now they're like, hey, we invested all this money. Now we got to start cutting because it's not showing the profit that we thought it was going to. This is the nature of things, which is why they're all going to YouTube. They're going to try that, which I don't blame them. It's smart to do that. So Chip is going to be on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. But, I do want to get you guys engaged and involved more. I like when we're not just talking and interviewing people that we bring on, which I'm going to do. Again, I've been so busy. The expo is 4 months away now, right? August, 4 months away now. So now we're starting to get into that. The wheel spinning faster for the expo and planning all these events for New Jersey Paranormal and selling tickets. I get busy. I get busy a lot taking care of all this stuff. And, doing the creeper investigation is still a way to get you guys at least something to do with us investigating. I even had the idea of, possibly doing something over the weekend, but I'm not going to do that because we're just going to take the week. We're not really doing anything in July as far as events. I know next weekend, where are we? Camp Evans. But after that, we're done with July because we're going to the bash. So I want to set up some more interviews because I enjoy doing that. And I know you guys enjoy doing that too. But, for you guys that are out there, your experiences, your, things that have happened to you, whether it's a Ouija board, whether it's a haunted house, whether it's some place that you went and something happened. I think that's really cool, interesting to share all that stuff, because obviously there's a reason, some people are just fascinated by the paranormal. They watch the shows, they enjoy the shows, whereas other people have had things happen, that they can't explain. And we've had people on that have, told about the things that happened to them. And wow, it's just some of the stuff was like, that's why I have such a hard time watching shows like I watched Um, I love hearing and telling about our. I like it too, Donna. I think that's one of the best things we do is giving people a platform and letting them talk about things that have happened or their beliefs. Krista dreams. I think the more you guys get involved, it again furthers what this really is. More community. It's more of us just talking about the paranormal. That's what the expo is so great at. The expo has just always been a place for just like-minded people to meet and to meet the people from TV, of course. But a lot of these people come from all over the country and they just have either have an interest in the paranormal or something has happened and they meet and they talk to other people. And it's cool that we could do that anywhere, you know? And I like doing that more and just talking to people. You know, again, there's some stuff that I hear that I'm like, I don't know. But other stuff, yeah, is really interesting to me. You know, we were talking about um, the whole what I was just talking about, you know, energy being held on and memories and things existing beyond the, you know, us being alive, and how does that all factor into the big picture. um, I love that stuff. I love all of it, and I love hearing other people's opinions about it, which is why I like talking to John Zaffis so much, because John will run the gambit of all of that stuff, you know. And he comes from a perspective of not just one religion. We get locked in what our beliefs are a little too much, and we stay in that on that road and down that path. But John did the right thing. John went and learned about Buddhism and Judaism and all this other stuff. Uh, yeah, Amy Allen, who I'm friends with, Amy was at the expo for 3 4 years, and she just stopped doing conventions. She she left the Dead Files. She broke her leg, and now she's happy. She was having a hard time with the Dead Files. It was really wearing on her physically and mentally, as you can imagine. You know, that's the thing too. Take away the paranormal investigator part of it. Um, the Jason Halls, the Zachs, the people that have been doing this a really long time. The medium part of it, if you believe in mediums and you think they can legitimately do what they can do, um, they subject themselves, if you believe in it, um, in a different way than I do, than we do, because they're trying to interact and communicate with spirits on a different level. You know what I mean? They're able to tune into that frequency a little way better than I can. So if you believe in what they do and how they do it, they're they're right there all the time. You know what I mean? They're if the spirit's there, according to them, they're engaging with them always, or trying to, the good and the bad. So think of over a 20-year span of doing Dead Files. Hey, Diana. Let again, hypothetically, let's say all of that stuff was real, and I'm on the fence about that. You guys know me. Um, Hypothetically, excuse me, all that stuff was real, okay? And she's seeing these dark figures that are attacking people and that are going after people. And Amy told me this once, true story, swear to God. Amy told me, and I wish she would come on here, she just won't do it. Amy told me once that her words, she would take spirits home with her and deal with them sometimes, because she wanted to remove them from the house. These are the ones that I guess she could do that with, because, you know, you would always tell her, like, if you watch the show, she would give people a list. Get a shaman, get this, get that, have this happen, go through this ritual, or just leave the house. But she would tell me on occasions she would take the spirits home with them, take them in, and then deal with them later. Now, is that real? Blank if I know. But let's say if we want to go out there and think that that's possible, imagine doing that to yourself over and over and over and over 20 years. How many cases they do on that show? What, 10, 16 every year for 20 years dealing with, and the only cases they took were the dark ones. You know that show. I know that show. There was never any happy Grandma Mary ghost. There, people were always under attack, which is why they called her. So you could see how that would take its toll psychologically, emotionally, and physically over time. You could see it. How could it not if it's real? You know? I mean, even if you can protect yourself, how could you protect yourself against every single spirit or entity that exists? You know what I mean? Like the worst of the worst? You know what I mean? How? Every single time? Everything you're doing is protecting you? I don't think that's possible. I just don't. You sooner or later, like in life, you're gonna come across someone who's stronger, meaner, more manipulative, you know, and they could take you down, you know. And how could that be any different? Especially if we're talking about demons, which I don't believe in, but again, we're talking about battling demons year after year. I mean, I love Amy. I think Amy's one of the nicest people in the world. I know she's amazing to her fans. I've seen it firsthand for 3 or 4 years in a row. How she just, the person in front of her, she didn't rush them. She talked to them. She was great to them. It drove me crazy because her line wouldn't move. But she always said to me, John, these are the people that made me who I am. I'm not going to rush them. I respect that more than anything in the world. You know? Everybody should think that way. They should, you know? So, yeah, that's what I'm kind of saying. Subjecting yourself to this stuff over and over and over again, over years and years. You know, it's surprising to me to find out that, these TV shows used to be in a place for, I told you, 3 or 4 days, and they spend hours and hours and hours and hours in there. And, to find out that, some people are staying there for an hour and they're whatever, and they're filming and, that's it. John Zaffis, he would tell me over and over again, when you're dealing like with the really bad ones, you go back again and again and again. It's never a quick fix. And, I believe that because there are some things that are just not going to leave, and in some cases, Amy did it. I think some other people did it too, where they would literally tell people, you got to move, you got to go. Whatever's here is not leaving, And that's why I think Donna's so smart about, Donna takes an object, she lives with the object for a week to get an idea of what that energy is capable of. Would everybody do that? Would I recommend that to anybody? I wouldn't do that here. You think I'm taking any of those objects home with me to see what they're going to do for a week? Shoot, no. No way. I'm not going to open my living place up to that energy, But she takes the objects home for a week, sees what they do, and then she brings them in to the shop with an idea. But again, that's how they affected her. That ain't going to be anybody else who has them or interacts with them. So back to the Amy Allen thing. I don't know if you guys remember, and if you don't and you didn't see it, I urge you to go back and watch it. They're called spirit mechanics. Now, I had learned through Amy that there were people that, now again, to her credit, got to give her credit, Amy would, out of her own pocket, it wasn't Travel Channel doing this or any of these other networks, Amy, out of her own pocket, would pay those people who she recommended that the homeowner follow up with, she would pay for them to fly out to wherever and stay there and try to resolve the problem. She'd pay for it. I know it's true because I met the people who she paid for them to go out there. These are one of the people were called Spirit Mechanic. I don't know if you guys remember this. Um, these were guys from Kentucky. And again, if you go back to the videos or YouTube, it's probably there. Nice guys, funny guys. But these are guys who studied a lot of different religions, know a lot of different methods for dealing with spirits. But they also claim, and this is where you lose me, you guys know this, they also claim to be able to, and I love these guys, and I'm not saying that they can't do what they say they can do. But again, the skeptic in me says, this is a little out there, but I love the guys and I know they're helping people. That's all that matters. But they claim to be able to physically grab the spirit from the person, pull it out, and drag it out of the building and disperse that energy. Now, I kind of relate that to these televangelist people or whatever that you see on TV, where the people come up and they're and they touch them and they fall down, and now they're able to walk, or they're able to see, or their cancer's gone, or whatever. I think there's a definite power of suggestion. I believe it's a strong, strong tool, in that if I believe a dragon is in my backyard because I have some kind of issue, chemical, mental, whatever. If I believe there's a dragon in my backyard, and if I go in my backyard, that dragon is going to set me on fire and kill me. And no matter what you tell me, I'm telling you, there's a dragon in my backyard. And you can't tell me otherwise. Just because you can't see it, this dragon only appears to me. Now, in walks the dragon hunter. You've seen dragons too? Oh my! You've killed dragons? Really? How do you do that? Well, I'm going to go out back and I'm going to light my torch and I'm going to say some things, and the dragon's going to be gone. And they're do all this thing and the dragon's gone. And they're going to come to me. And I'm going to go, you got rid of it, huh? Oh my God, how long I've been trying to get rid of it? Yeah, the dragon is gone. I saw it. It's gone. You don't have to worry about that dragon anymore. But if he comes back, you come get me. And I'll come back and get rid of that dragon. There's a power of suggestion when it comes to certain things, where some people want to believe so bad, or their issues cause them to believe that if you give them the kind of solution they want, then they're going to, and that's good because it solves the problem one way or another. So pulling spirits out of people and dragging them outside, that's a tough one, man. And I love these guys. And if they're saying they're doing it, then maybe they are, maybe they can. But woof, that's a tough one for me. Yeah, the cat. That's the evil cat in the other room. But that, and like I said, watching this guy from this show having spirits walk into him and falling to the ground and then acting like they got tased. I'm just like, come on, man. Really? Really? Is this really happening? Can they do this? You know? But I could be wrong. Maybe it's happening. What do I know? Anyway, when we come back Monday, I'm sure Chris will be here when we talk to Pam and Steve about the bash. Again, if at all, you guys can get away, and if you've never been to Gettysburg, you should come. It's going to be a great time. We're going to be there Friday early. We're going to leave Sunday afternoon. Lots of stuff going on. We're going to talk all about it. It's just going to be a good time, you know, being in Gettysburg, being with all these people that are just good people, supporting great causes. It's just such a feel-good event. and you should support people that are doing good things for the paranormal community and for others and for charities. Definitely. Um, there are lots of good people out there, who are doing this stuff. And, there's people that aren't so good out there in this field for sure. Um, I wish I could go down the list. I really do, but I wouldn't do that. But Pam and Steve are definitely people you should support. We'll be there supporting them again, end of July, 25th, 26th. Um, Friday, I think it's $20 for the weekend too. Their convention's so cheap. $20 gets you in for the whole weekend. And I know they're going to have, I don't want to ruin it here, but I know they're going to have karaoke contests, axe throwing, there's mechanical bolt. There's so much stuff that they're going to be doing at this thing that it's going to be just, again, such a good time. And you get to hang out with us and all the other people that are there. John Zaffis is going to be there, Dave Schrader. We'll go down the list with them. But if you can, make plans to be there for sure. Friday night is the party and the karaoke contest. And I'm not a drinker, but I'll have a cocktail or two for sure. And downtown, they have live bands. Kristen and I love to do that. Saturday night, we kind of ditch out after the convention. We go have some dinner, usually with friends if they're in town. And then we hang out. We listen to the live music while we just have Corona or whatever. And last year, I think we did that with Brian and Ann. I think that was last year. But had a great time. And then Wednesday, chip coffee. So will there be a creeper gallery somewhere in there? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see how I feel and how she feels. But thanks for watching, everyone. Again, thanks for your support. If you want to see any of the videos, if you missed the investigation, especially if you just missed this past creeper gallery, all you need to do is scroll down. It's like 3 posts down from this that you're watching, and it's there. So just check out the video section, go on YouTube, check out videos. Subscribe to YouTube as well if you're watching this. I'd like to get to 3,000 subscribers soon. I'm at like 2.5. So please go to YouTube, find New Jersey Paranormal, subscribe. And remember, our events are still have tickets available, New Jersey Paranormal at yahoo.com. Make sure it's only New Jersey Paranormal. Anything else with the word New Jersey Paranormal, and if there's something before or after, it ain't us. So make sure you know where you're going. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.